Stop right here. Don't move. Don't blink. God says this is the moment you were divinely pulled into because the spiritual realm refuses to let you walk blind for another second. Archangel Michael stands beside you with a sword of fiery clarity, and he whispers, "The pressure surrounding your daughter did not come from nowhere. Something has already cracked open. She has spoken a truth she was never supposed to carry alone. My beloved child, listen, because heaven is opening a window into what happened behind the scenes. Your daughter didn't confess because she wanted attention. She didn't confess because she had malicious intent. She confessed because her spirit reached the point of collapse. She was trembling under a weight she couldn't express, and the spiritual air around her became so heavy that she had no choice but to release the secret that was suffocating her heart. But heaven reveals something even more urgent. She did not confess to a safe person. She released her truth into the ears of someone who pretends to love, pretends to support, pretends to understand, pretends to be trustworthy, yet hides envy like a shadow behind their smile. This person caught her words like bait. They pretended to comfort her, but inside they felt satisfaction, because her confession became a tool, a weapon, a spark they could use to stir chaos in your home. Your daughter didn't know the danger. Her heart was tired, her spirit bruised, her emotions unstable. She reached for relief, not realizing she reached toward the wrong hand. And the moment her confession left her lips, the negativity surrounding your family found an opening. A spiritual curse, activated not by rituals, but by jealous intentions and toxic words, attached itself to her secret and began moving through your household like an unseen draft. This is why heaven dragged you here. Not to frighten you. Not to overwhelm you. But to intercept the curse before it fully roots itself. Archangel Michael says, awareness is the shield. Understanding is the weapon. And right now, you are being placed in spiritual position to protect everything connected to your daughter. Heaven wants you to know, your daughter didn't betray you. She broke under pressure. She needed release. She whispered truth because she could no longer hold the storm inside her chest. And heaven is not angry with her, heaven is protecting her. The real threat is the one who listened with the wrong intention. They are already carrying your daughter's secret like a blade tucked behind their tongue, waiting for the moment that hurts the most. But heaven will not allow that weapon to strike without warning you first. Before I reveal who this dangerous listener is, and how their jealousy opened the door to spiritual attack, you must hear the real reason your daughter's confession happened at this exact moment. God says, my child, listen closely, because your daughter did not break randomly or accidentally. Her timing was spiritual, not emotional. What she confessed, and when she confessed it, was not a coincidence but a divine release point triggered by a pressure that had been building in her spirit for months. Archangel Michael reveals this clearly. Her heart reached the threshold where silence would have destroyed her. She was carrying energy that did not belong to her, fear, guilt, shame, confusion, all swirling inside her chest like a storm waiting for lightning. She held this weight because she wanted to protect everyone around her. She didn't want to disappoint you. She didn't want to create chaos. She didn't want to be judged. She didn't want to be misunderstood. And because of this, she swallowed everything until her spirit could no longer hold the pressure. God says that your daughter's confession was not weakness, it was survival. If she hadn't released her secret, the emotional load would have cracked her mentally. She was seconds away from making decisions that would have harmed her spirit, her mind, and even her future. So heaven stepped in. The archangel pressed the truth out of her chest, not to expose her, but to save her. But there is more. Heaven reveals your daughter was spiritually attacked for weeks before her confession. Dark energy, fueled by jealousy, fueled by resentment, fueled by someone who wanted to see her fall, was pressing against her mind, trying to make her break in destructive ways. That attack wasn't strong enough to destroy her, but it was strong enough to make her vulnerable. That vulnerability pushed her into the arms of the wrong listener. Your daughter didn't choose that person because she trusted them. She chose them because the spiritual attack blurred her discernment. She thought she was reaching for safety when she was actually reaching for a serpent disguised as a sympathizer. Understand this: heaven is not angry at your daughter for speaking to the wrong person. Heaven is angry at the spirit that manipulated her openness. The spiritual attack wasn't aimed at destroying her, it was aimed at destabilizing your family, using her vulnerability as the doorway. But heaven blocked it. Because once she spoke, the attack lost its silent grip. The darkness feeding on her secrecy was starved the moment her truth came out. Now, heaven is shifting the battleground from her heart to your awareness. Archangel Michael stands saying, the moment she released the secret, you became the one chosen to receive the revelation. And now the question rises like thunder: who did she tell? Who caught her truth? Who is holding her vulnerability like a weapon waiting to strike? Before I reveal exactly who this person is, and why they are secretly rooting for your family to crumble, you must understand what this individual has been hiding behind their innocent face. God says, my child, now you must see the truth about the person your daughter confided in, the one who pretends to care, the one who speaks softly, the one who smiles politely, the one who positions themselves as harmless. Their innocence is nothing more than a costume they wear to convince everyone around them that their intentions are pure. Archangel Michael exposes this soul with absolute clarity. This person has mastered the art of pretending to be trustworthy while secretly feeding off the downfall of others. They act fragile so no one suspects their envy. They act gentle so no one questions their motives. They act supportive so no one sees the jealousy lurking beneath their skin. This person has always been watching your family, observing quietly, analyzing your blessings, comparing your stability to their own emptiness. In their heart, your family's unity feels like an insult to their loneliness. Your daughter did not know this. She saw a calm face and believed it meant a calm spirit. She saw a gentle tone and assumed it meant a genuine heart. But heaven reveals that this person is dangerous not because of physical harm, but because of emotional sabotage, spiritual interference, and toxic intentions dressed as compassion. Their pattern is predictable. They wait. They listen. They collect information. They pretend to empathize. Then they twist the truth subtly, plant seeds quietly, and share the story selectively to stir tension, confusion, and division. This is not the first time they've done it. They thrive on chaos because chaos gives them false power. When others suffer, they feel important. When others fall apart, they feel superior. And when someone else's secret enters their possession, they feel in control. That is what makes them dangerous. Your daughter unknowingly placed her fragile truth into the hands of someone who treats pain like entertainment. This person is already replaying her confession in their mind, deciding who they want to tell, how they want to say it, and how dramatic they can make it seem. They are excited, not concerned. They feel empowered, not compassionate. In their eyes, your daughter's confession is an opportunity to spark a fire inside your family, to create tension between loved ones, to make themselves look important by being the one who knows something. But heaven says their plan will not succeed. You were shown this message so you can intercept the chaos before it unfolds. You are being empowered with truth because heaven is choosing you as the guardian of your family's stability. But to protect what is yours, you must first recognize the one working against you. And heaven says this clearly: this person has been close to your home, close to your conversations, close to your family energy for a long time, but they were never loyal. Before I reveal their exact identity, and the shocking role they've been playing behind your back, there is one more secret about their connection to your daughter that you must hear. God says, my child, now you must understand the influence this person has had over your daughter, an influence she never recognized, an influence that didn't come through love or mentorship but through subtle emotional manipulation dressed as comfort. Archangel Michael reveals this with precision. Your daughter was spiritually weakened long before she confessed, and this person positioned themselves as the only one she could safely speak to. They didn't show up as a friend. They showed up as a sponge, absorbing her insecurities, feeding from her vulnerability, and quietly shaping her thoughts without her realizing it. This person learned your daughter's emotional patterns. They learned what made her nervous, what made her doubt herself, what made her second-guess her worth. They observed her during moments when she was fragile and tucked every detail away like ammunition. They never offered real help. They only offered enough comfort to keep her emotionally dependent. And that is how the spiritual trap formed. Your daughter thought she was choosing a listener, but in truth she was choosing the only person who had strategically positioned themselves to catch her when she fell. Heaven shows that this person often planted small doubts inside her, not direct punches, but tiny seeds. Are you sure that's right? Do you really think they'll understand you? Maybe you're overthinking, but maybe not. These subtle words were designed to make her feel isolated, misunderstood, and alone. That isolation made her confession inevitable. She didn't confess because they were trustworthy, she confessed because they were the only one who made her feel temporarily understood. And this person used empathy like a fishing hook. They wanted your daughter to feel safe enough to spill something personal. They wanted to be the center of her emotional release. And when she finally broke, when the pressure became too much, when her spirit cracked and she released the truth, this person felt victorious. Heaven reveals something more. This person has been jealous of your daughter for years. Jealous of her heart. Jealous of her strength. Jealous of the love she receives. Jealous of the way people naturally gravitate toward her. And in their envy, they waited for a moment when your daughter's strength dimmed. They waited for a moment when she doubted herself. They waited for a moment when she slipped. And the moment she confessed, their envy transformed into excitement because they believed they finally had leverage, something they could use to stir trouble, something they could use to damage trust inside your home, something they could use to make themselves feel powerful for the first time in a long time. But heaven says the game ends here. This person thinks they are holding a weapon. What they don't know is that heaven is about to expose their intentions so boldly that their mask will fall in front of everyone they try to deceive. Before I reveal exactly who this person is, and how they are tied to your family more closely than you ever suspected, you must hear what heaven is preparing to expose next. God says, "My child, now the veil lifts, and the identity of this person can no longer remain hidden in the shadows they've been using to disguise their intentions." The one your daughter confided in is someone who has been close enough to observe everything in your household, yet distant enough to avoid suspicion. This is someone who waits for emotional cracks to appear so they can slide in quietly, pretending to offer help while secretly harvesting every weakness they can find. Archangel Michael speaks with a force that shakes the spiritual atmosphere. This is not a stranger. This is not an outsider. This is someone who has been in the house, at the table, in conversations, in the environment, someone who blends in so effortlessly that your family never sees their envy dripping beneath the surface. Heaven reveals that this person carries insecurity like a second skin. They watch your daughter's confidence, her growth, her relationships, and her light with resentment because her spirit radiates what their soul lacks. They pretend to uplift her, but inside they feel threatened by her potential. And when your daughter reached a moment of emotional collapse, this person felt an opportunity arise, a moment where they could finally feel superior by holding a secret heavy enough to destabilize the peace inside your home. They listen not with compassion, but with hunger. Hunger for drama. Hunger for chaos. Hunger for relevance. They enjoyed the idea of being the one who knows something. They enjoyed the power of holding your daughter's vulnerability like a blade behind their back. And heaven says this clearly: this person has been quietly bitter toward your family for a long time. They believe your home has blessings they don't have. They believe your family has unity they never experienced. They believe your daughter has advantages they were denied. This bitterness twisted their heart. It made them jealous of every good thing that happens in your household. It made them uncomfortable when love flowed easily between you and your daughter. It made them angry when she succeeded. It made them irritated when she was praised. And now, with your daughter's confession in their possession, they feel emboldened. They are planning to reveal her secret, not immediately, but carefully, dramatically, in a way that causes maximum emotional impact. They are waiting for the right moment when tension is already high, when someone is already frustrated, when the environment is already fragile. They want the explosion to feel organic so no one suspects them as the instigator. But heaven is not allowing their plan to succeed. You were brought into this message so you can intercept the damage before their tongue becomes a weapon. And now heaven reveals the final truth: this person is not just someone your daughter knows. They are someone you trusted as well. Someone you let close. Someone you assumed had good intentions. Someone who smiled in your face while secretly waiting for the chance to disrupt your peace. Before I reveal exactly how this person will slip up, and how heaven will expose them in front of everyone, you must hear the final warning about the moment everything breaks open. God says, my child, now you must prepare your spirit because the moment of exposure is approaching faster than the one working against your family realizes. The mask they have worn so perfectly, the polite smile, the soft voice, the harmless behavior, is about to crack under the pressure of their own intentions. Archangel Michael stands with his sword drawn, declaring, no deception can survive once truth begins moving through the household. The exposure will not come through confrontation, not through argument, not through accusation. It will come through a small mistake. A careless moment. A slip of the tongue. A private conversation overheard. A message they forget to delete. A comment that doesn't align with what they claim to know. A detail they reveal without realizing your daughter never told them that part. Their downfall begins with their own eagerness. They want to feel important so badly, they will speak too soon. They want attention, so they will try to hint at the secret before the moment is right. They want to feel powerful, so they will drop fragments in conversation, thinking no one will connect the dots. But heaven says someone will. Someone in the family will pick up on the inconsistency. Someone will notice that this person knows more than they should. Someone will question how they learned certain details. And the moment that question is raised, their calm facade will begin to crumble. They will stutter. Their story will shift. Their expression will falter. And that is the moment heaven strikes, because their lie cannot stand once light is shining directly on it. God says this exposure is necessary. It is not meant to punish. It is meant to protect. To protect your daughter from emotional manipulation. To protect your family from spiritual interference. To protect your household from the intentions of someone who smiles with their lips but curses with their thoughts. And the most powerful part? The exposure will not require your daughter to speak. It will not require you to accuse. It will not require anyone to fight. The truth will expose itself naturally through divine timing. Heaven is already arranging the conversation that will trigger the unraveling. The environment. The people present. The timing. Everything will be so precise that even the instigator will know this exposure was not coincidence, it was intervention. And when the mask finally falls, everyone will see their true nature. Their jealousy will be revealed. Their bitterness will be undeniable. Their manipulation will be obvious. And the spiritual attack they tried to launch through your daughter's vulnerability will turn back on them, leaving them exposed without a single person to defend their intentions. But heaven says this is not the end, this is the turning point. Because once the truth comes out, your daughter begins her healing. Your household begins restoring. And you step into the spiritual authority heaven has been preparing you for. And now heaven asks you directly, are you ready to hear what your role will be once the truth explodes into the open and the entire family looks to you for guidance?